Greetings, beautiful people of this planet. I have something special to present today, and this comes from Violent Attempted Robbery by Judge. This man, Fiddletown 2002, posted on another video that I have, and it was very obvious from his first post that he was an attorney and very well educated by the legal society, although I do not know how well educated he actually is in real life. I have challenged him to come on to the talk show and have a debate of logic one-on-one, me against him. He has declined to do so. I'll get more into that later. So he said he would comment on Henry after a couple of days. Here's his comment. Poor Henry. So he hired a lawyer to do something and agreed to pay the lawyer's fees. But Henry was dissatisfied with the work the lawyer did and declined to pay. The lawyer sued Henry on the contract for fees owed. Okay, here we go. Henry was arrested on the attorney's advice. The attorney sued Henry, but it wasn't actually the attorney who did it, it was his son. He did not verify the claim, nor could he verify the claim that Henry actually owed money, because he did not know. And in my opinion, if an attorney gives you advice that gets you arrested and then backs out of what his work is because of his liability, I don't think you have any obligation to pay him. That's just me. Now, Henry might have had some defenses to those claims, like getting arrested and going to jail. We really don't know, since we only have limited and biased information. Because I'm the most biased person I've ever met. But for him to have been able to make whatever case he had, he would have had to do things in a proper way. He did do things in a proper way, and he had at least 2 attorneys work on this case before I was involved, in accordance with applicable court procedures. Okay, this is really funny, and just because this man, Fiddletown 2002, which I don't really know if he's a man, we'll get into that later, but just because he says this, I'm just going to say, why did the court never call his case and never called his name? Why did they not follow their own procedures? And he did do things with proper procedures. He informed the court in the proper way, in writing, before we ever went in there. And to have done that, he would have needed the help of a good lawyer who understands those procedures. He is basically saying that lawyers are gods, that attorneys are gods, and they can do things better than anybody else can do them. He is putting himself above regular people like you and me. A lawsuit is highly formalized. Things need to be done in a certain way. Issues need to be brought up and addressed in a certain way. In general, positions and motions need to be stated in writing, conforming to certain requirements as to form, and filed with the court, which we did that morning, and the opposition, which would have been done by the bailiff while we were in court, except for the fact that the judge had a party to the case arrested for speaking and saying he was a party to the case, and the attorney did not attorn him or have the right to attorn him over to the jurisdiction
do not
of
touch
the
me. I don't
court.
give you permission to touch me. Do you know what you're doing?
Just step over here, please.
Nice to meet you. He's 86 years old.
This one?
If someone wants to best protect his rights and interests, he needs to follow proper procedure and will not be able to state his case in the most effective way if he does not. Okay, well, we've already dealt with that. He did follow the proper procedure in filing papers and was going to have them served, except for the fact that he got arrested. To perhaps help you better understand how this formal process works, here's a link to the North Carolina Rules of Civil Procedure. And he gives me a link. I find this hilarious because with the last couple of videos I put out, it goes into case law and it talks about the Civil Code of Procedure in North Carolina. I'm very surprised that he believes I'm so ignorant as to not be able to understand how things work. But unfortunately, Henry didn't have a lawyer. Actually, he had 2 lawyers on this case before he found me. A friend tried to help, but the friend didn't understand procedure either. So this all turns mess with Henry winding up with a judgment order against him requiring that he pay the bill with interest. This is hilarious because the attorney has a notice of lien on an account for Henry Ramo. The only problem is that the judgment order is not lawful. Anyways, the next comment is, always good, informative video, thanks. These are typically the type of comments I get. It has 6 likes. And even though I would ask that people go and read his comments on this video and other videos, because I will be making videos about him in the future, I do not ask that you reply and say some negative stuff or degrade him or use ad hominem as he has obviously done with myself, because whenever somebody degrades to using ad hominem or to insulting somebody just because they don't have a better argument to argue, you already know that you have won the debate. Thank you. Anyways, this is just conspiracy, and I just wish to conspire with other good people on this planet to leave a better world for future generations than the world we grew up in. So obviously, you cannot, we cannot, the people cannot be as intelligent or as philosophical or as moral as Fiddletown 2002. Everybody, y'all have a great day. Thank you. It is because of Fiddletown 2002 why I believe it is very important for people to like and share and get the general public knowing about law and what their rights are and how it used to be performed and why it is the way it is today. I'll be coming out with more videos, but Trial by Jury at Common Law goes into very good history of how trial by juries used to be performed, how to break down simple words in court. This is incredibly important because courts always operate from the etymological meaning of the word. Even if you go into Black's Law Dictionary and other legal dictionaries, they're usually using the etymological meaning of the word. Josephine's Confessions of a Pre-Planned Theft. This is just showing how the court system literally helps the wrongdoer and does not help people who do the right thing, even when they know what's going on. A lot of these videos have to do with Henry Ramo. If it was not for Henry Ramo, I would not have started making videos again, since I made Statute from Statue Soulful Warfare, which this says 2 years ago, but it was almost 3 years ago. It will be 3 years in October. But I have been helping people in real life situations, and the court has not been acting completely lawless. Some of these other ones, what are your persons from a legal standing, I highly recommend. U.S. government, what you are not being told, how to fire your representatives and claim your rights, vote the government out of office. This has to do with John Locke's book, the Second Treatise of Government, which is what our Constitution was mainly written about. So there are some really good videos in here. This is a video that is one of my personal favorites, but not a lot of people watch. And it's What Will the Future Look Like? You Tell Me. And it goes through the technology that we have. And I was actually thinking about redoing this because of artificial intelligence and what's going on in society today. And we have a lot better technology and science today than we did 3 years ago when I made that. Another one that's incredibly important for people to watch, in my opinion, is What Do Senators Know Compared to the Legal Society? How the courts get jurisdiction of the body, statutes versus common law, and attorneys' obligations. And yeah, just these are some basic videos. They don't go real in depth into law, but they give people a basic general idea of what law is and how it is to be performed.